Parsha 101 and Haftarah 101. This week's Haftarah is for the Parsha of Shemini. Parsha of Shemini speaks about the inauguration of the tabernacle of the Mishkan in the desert and the great revelations that occurred. And part of what occurred during that time is the unfortunate story of Aaron's two sons, Nadav and Avihu, who, it says, brought a foreign fires, and they want to offer incense on their own. They didn't ask permission for it. They so much desired to connect to God, and the consequence of going outside of the order and the ritual and the way that the law prescribed was that they both lost their lives. So a parallel to this is the story that's taken from the book of Samuel, the second book of Samuel 2, the second book of Samuel. And this happened with the ark, the Aron, in the times of King David. So the Jewish people were at this time, Samuel's the prophet, and they were fighting against the Philistines. And they were losing really badly. And they decided that, it's going to turn the tide of wars if we bring the ark out, and that will inspire, and that will bring protection, etc. Now, the short story is it didn't work, because this had been decided that they were going to lose this war, and instead of the ark providing protection, the ark was captured by the Philistines. And now, they captured it, but it brought them a lot of bad luck. Everywhere it went, there was plague and whatever. So finally, they thought, look, we captured the ark. In the meantime, it was terrible for them. Thank God. So, they decided, fine, we'll return it. So they put it on this wagon and loaded it down with gold and everything, and they were returned back to the Jewish people. So it came to one place, came to another place. Basically, they ended up storing it in the house of someone named Abinadab, and treated it respectfully, and they stored it there. The base of Mikdash is not yet built. So finally, when King David kind of consolidates the kingdom, he said, it's time to bring the ark to the city of David / Jerusalem. And what he does, he creates this big fanfare. There's a big celebration that they're going to bring the ark now. He gathers together 30,000 people, and there's a massive parade that goes on. And they have the ark, it's put on the wagon, and it's going to be carried, and it's going to go. So they start bringing the ark, and Abinadab had a son, Uzzah, and he saw the wagon sort of tilting a little bit. He felt the ark might fall. He put out his hand and to kind of, keep the ark from falling, and he touched the ark and he died, because he forgot that the ark doesn't need human assistance, basically. And there's a whole story about when the Jewish people, it's not a whole story, in history, when the Jewish people were crossing into the land of Israel, the priests went with the ark into the Jordan River, and it kind of split the water for them. They were able to cross through, and then the ark lifted the priests to the other side of the river, etc. The general idea is that the ark is not carried, the ark carries whoever comes along with it. So this suspect thing of, the ark might fall, he should have remembered and realized the ark doesn't fall. And so, of course, this marred the whole celebration, and they stopped, and much sadness, and they ended up storing in the home of someone named Oved Edom. And he treated the ark with great respect, and there was much blessing. 3 months later, they come to King David. There's so much blessing in this house. There's riches, and children are being born. It's all this kind of stuff. So King David realizes, we've made the right decision. We made the right move here. We're showing respect, etc. We could finally bring the ark again. And they bring the ark again, and King David is leaping and dancing in front of it. It actually says that his wife Michal looked on this, and she was very disappointed at him. Like, what are you behaving like this? You're acting like a commoner. This king is jumping and dancing before the ark. And King David, it doesn't have this part in the Haftarah. King David was like, I would do it all over again. I would do even if I look a fool, even worse than this, I would do this. And the general idea is, so they bring the ark to the city of David. They're going to keep it there, waiting now for the base of Mikdash to be built. And then King David gives out gifts and bread and meat to everybody. Now, the whole thing with Uzzah forgetting about the law of the ark, that the ark carries and is not carried, that happened during the celebration and things like this, there's another backstory. There's more backstories to all this, because before this, King David, in writing one of the Psalms, had referred to the Torah like, your laws are like sweet songs to me. Basically, he was saying it in praise of the Torah, but King David, especially as the great psalmist that he was, should have been a little bit more careful in the language. And God, it's like, these are sweet songs to you. The Torah is it's not just a song. It's not just this soothing thing that we have for pleasure and enjoyment. The Torah is something that's supposed to be learned strenuously with effort and applied. It says God's wisdom. It's not just a song. So it's almost in the oversimplification and King David forgetting what Torah is all about, that it's not just, it makes me so happy. That's not what Torah is, that's not what the essence of Torah is all about. So in forgetting that, this whole story occurred where someone else had forgot the law of the ark, which represents Torah, etc. And this is what it all is. So of course, an important thing for us to remember is that we shouldn't forget what it's all about. And even though there's so many parts of Torah that are so good and that we really can understand it and really get behind it, and we like some of these laws, etc., it's not really what it's all about. It's about applying ourselves and learning, and even the things that we don't fully understand, and also remembering where it's all coming from and what it's all for. That it's this divine wisdom that we get to tap into and we get to experience and really try to integrate and bring it down to this world, etc. And through this, we shall merit, please God, that once again we'll have great rejoicing with the building of the third Beis Hamikdash very speedily in our days. Amen.